Attention Minnesota Vikings fans. The news we have today will drive you crazy. Vikings fans are flooding our social networks trying to understand what just happened. And here in this video, you will know everything firsthand. So don't leave. Don't forget to leave your like on the video too, because it helps our community to grow more. And if you are not subscribed yet, subscribe, because here we always do giveaways with subscribers. Now let's go to today's news. Dalton Risner leaves door ajar for return to Vikings. But scenario is uncertain. While the Minnesota Vikings are making moves behind the scenes to strengthen their offensive line, an old acquaintance of the fans is still waiting for a definition about his future: guard Dalton Risner. The franchise has been reshaping the interior of the offensive line with firm steps this offseason. The arrivals of center Ryan Kelly and right guard Will Fries show the clear intention of increasing the level of protection for the quarterback. On the other hand, names like center Garrett Bradbury were released, and guard Ed Ingram was traded, which indicates a real change of direction. Amidst this whirlwind of changes, the left guard position, currently occupied by Blake Brandel, appears to be an unknown. Even though he was a starter for much of last season, Brandel's days as the holder of the spot may be numbered, either due to the selection of a promising rookie in the draft or due to a more intense competition within the roster itself. It is in this scenario that Dalton Risner's name resurfaces. A 29-year-old veteran, Risner joined the Vikings in September 2023, at a time when few believed he would still be available on the market. He quickly gained ground and accumulated 19 starts over 2 seasons, 11 at left guard in 2023, and 8 at right guard in 2024. With a solid and reliable style, especially in pass protection, Risner established himself as an important piece in the offensive rotation. Even so, he once again finds himself on the sidelines, waiting for a new contract, a situation that, for him, is already becoming common. Why is Risner still available? The lack of concrete offers raises some questions. There are no reports of significant injuries. He ended last season as a starter in 8 consecutive games, including the playoff game against the Rams. In other words, he finished on a high note. But the NFL market is driven by increasingly complex variables. The compensatory draft system, which influences teams' behavior after free agency, may be one of the reasons why Risner's name has not yet been pulled from the top of the drawing board. In addition, the boom in guard signings in recent years, something that has far from benefited Risner, has also helped cool the conversations. Teams are increasingly cautious about investing large amounts of money in offensive linemen who are not considered absolute elite. Minnesota has shown interest, to a certain extent. In a recent video posted on his social media, Dalton Risner decided to open up to fans. In a calm but transparent tone, he talked about his flirtation with the Vikings and made it clear that he still has affection for the franchise and the city. Minnesota has shown interest in bringing me back, but only to a certain extent. I mean, they signed a point guard for a fortune, so it has to be the other side of the ball. And Blake Brandel is an incredible football player. I don't know what their plan would be with me, but if they're willing to work with me, I'm willing to work with them. I love Minnesota very much. The statement, in addition to being affectionate, also reveals a harsh reality. Risner is open, but he knows it's not just up to him. The franchise's interest seems to have a limit. Maybe financial, maybe strategic, or both. Other destinations on the radar: Bengals and Broncos, in addition to keeping the door ajar in Minnesota. Risner also mentioned 2 other teams in his video: the Denver Broncos, who selected him in the 2019 draft, and where he played his first 4 seasons in the NFL, and the Cincinnati Bengals, with whom he has already flirted publicly this month. The possibility of joining the Bengals seems to be the most concrete at the moment. With glaring holes in its offensive line and a quarterback who needs all the protection it can get, Cincinnati could offer what Risner is looking for: a competitive team, a chance to start, and perhaps a stable contract. A veteran waiting for the right call, Dalton Risner, is no longer a prospect. He is a mature, consistent player who knows his worth and understands how the game works off the field. As the NFL draft approaches and teams adjust their rosters for the 2025 season, his name continues to circulate. Whether it's Minnesota, Denver, Cincinnati, or even some unexpected destination, one thing is certain: Risner still has fuel left in the tank, and he's ready to wear the colors of whoever gives him the right opportunity. Kirk Cousins back in Minnesota? Vikings linked to possible post-draft trade with Falcons. The Minnesota Vikings offseason has already been marked by big changes, and now, a surprising turnaround could be on the way. Growing rumors indicate that the franchise would be eyeing an old acquaintance, quarterback Kirk Cousins, currently with the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, that same Kirk Cousins, who for years was the face of the franchise in Minneapolis, could be one step closer to donning the purple and gold again. Cousins, a four-time Pro Bowl selection, is in the second year of a four-year, $180 million contract, with total career earnings approaching an impressive $293.9 million. But despite his million-dollar salary, his future in Atlanta seems increasingly cloudy, and Minnesota could become a possible destination after the NFL draft. Cousins' rookie season with the Falcons has been a roller coaster. He started off with a solid 6-3 start, but a losing streak has dampened his momentum. He finished 2024 with a 7-7 record, completing 69.2% of his passes for 2,328 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. The most drastic decision, however, came in the final stretch of the season. After a victory in Week 15, the coach benched Cousins to make room for rookie Michael Penix Jr., a first-round draft pick. From then on, it was clear that the veteran was no longer part of the franchise's future. And now, with the draft just around the corner, things are starting to get a little heated behind the scenes. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Falcons have been in talks with a few teams about a possible trade involving Cousins, but the asking price is high. The Atlanta team is demanding that the interested team assume at least $20 million of the $45 million still guaranteed on the quarterback's contract, an amount that no franchise has shown willingness to pay so far. There's a feeling around the league that a team, maybe the Vikings or the Steelers, might be willing to pay around $10 million, Schefter said. Despite the financial hurdle, the Vikings wouldn't be completely out of the game, and a trade proposal is gaining traction, both behind the scenes in the NFL and in expert simulations. Heavy Sports proposal suggests a scenario in which Minnesota would receive Cousins and a 2027 seventh-round pick, while Atlanta would take edge rusher Gabriel Murphy and a conditional sixth-round pick from the same year, which could turn into a fourth depending on Cousins' playing time. Murphy, an undrafted free agent in the 2024 draft, has yet to make a significant impact in the league, but he offers versatility in the pass rush, exactly what the Falcons have been lacking in recent years. The Atlanta franchise has not recorded a single player with more than 7 sacks in a season since 2018, a feat shared by no other NFL team in the past 40 years. For the Vikings, the exchange could be strategic. Even if they give up assets, they would receive not only an experienced quarterback, but also an additional pick and some financial relief, since Atlanta would continue to foot the bill for part of the contract. At the center of it all is coach Kevin O'Connell, a big fan of J.J. McCarthy, the promising quarterback in his second year in the NFL. O'Connell will play a decisive role in any move involving the most important position on the roster. With McCarthy still recovering from a serious knee injury and Sam Darnold as the interim starter, the team is navigating some choppy waters at the QB position, and that's where the nostalgia, and perhaps the convenience, of a possible Cousins return comes in. For many, Cousins' return could feel like a step backwards. But for others, it's a smart move, and emotionally aligned with the Vikings' DNA. Former NFL coach Eric Mangini, for example, sees logic in the idea. The relationship with the city was great. The relationship with the coaches was great. He might think, this is my best chance to succeed. He might say publicly that he doesn't want to be a starter, but inside he believes he can outmaneuver McCarthy and take over. And if he doesn't, he'll still be in a positive environment and with a solid pocketbook. Mangini also highlights an important detail: the impact of the negotiation on the Falcons' salary cap. A trade before June 1st would be financially burdensome for Atlanta. After that, the landscape changes completely, which makes the post-draft period a key time for any move involving Cousins. Kirk Cousins left Minnesota as one of the most consistent players in recent franchise history. His departure was marked by mutual respect and the Vikings' decision to invest in the future. Now, ironically, that future may be calling its past back. With the draft poised to reshape the league board and the quarterback situation still up in the air for several teams, anything can happen. And if the door back to Minnesota is still ajar, maybe Cousins is just waiting for the right moment to walk through it.